program is brought to you in living color.
I walked through the damp, foggy streets, my mind swirling. So much content, so many podcasts. How do I find the best? Then it hit me, like a big blue neon sign flashing through the mist. Blueberry. All I had to do was drop the E's and go to blueberry.com. Blueberry, the digital media interface for consumers, creators, and advertisers.
Goody, it's Grouchcast time once again, broadcasting live from the Gail Schmalfeld Memorial Studio, high atop Schmalfeld Towers, in beautiful Elk Ridge, Maryland. Please welcome your host, Bill Schmalfeld.
Well, hi! It's a miserable day, so what else is new? A horrible day, so just listen to my Grouchcast. Here's my Grouchcast. American Taliban right-wing fools, let's give them a swift kick in the jewels, my Grouchcast. On my Grouchcast, I have always wanted to have a listener just like you. If you won't be my listener, I will kidnap you. So, let's make the best of this terrible time as we point out all the right-winger crime. Sit for a while, I'll make you smile, right here on my Grouchcast. Rude and crass, lacking in class. That's because it's my Grouchcast.
Hello and greetings once again for the final time from the Gail Schmalfeld Memorial Studios here atop the sparkling Schmalfeld Towers in beautiful downtown Elk Ridge, Maryland. I'm Bill Schmalfeld. This is the Grouchcast, and I'm here to share with you today a decision I've made, and it was a difficult one to come by. You see, this podcast never really got off the ground. Part of the reason for that is that I never really had the opportunity to promote it properly. For the past couple of years, I've been the personal demolition project of a group of dedicated right-wing crazies who love them some freedom of speech, as long as it's their speech, not yours, not mine. My efforts to promote this podcast have always been shot down or at least besmirched by a dedicated group of acolytes devoted to the people whose sworn mission in life, it seems, to be to destroy me. And every attempt to promote the podcast turns into a shouting match and a flame war, so it's just not worth it. And I'll take the blame for it. When I first got involved in blogging and expressing my opinion online, I thought the honorable way to approach it would be by using my actual name. My father instilled in all of his kids a pride in their name, and that if you believed something enough to say it out loud, you better have the courage of your convictions to put your name on it. Well, back in the late 90s and early part of the 21st century, there wasn't this proliferation of trolls, these cowardly, puerile people who have nothing better to do with their lives than to sit and read your blog and tear you to pieces. They hide behind assumed names and believes that gives them the freedom to violate your freedom to express yourself. If people know your real name, and they lack the morals to allow you to express your points unassaulted by attacks on your personal life, the very nature of the internet makes that very, very easy. So much information can be found in publicly available places, and when people hate you, there's nothing to stop them. I'd like to invite you to take a look at a website I created to save the anonymous secret planning and scheming by a group of such people. That website is www.hoggypot, that's HOGGYPOT, hoggypot.wordpress.com. If you get a chance, just sit down and read the whole thing from start to finish. See for yourself the rising level of hatred and anger directed toward me by an individual calling himself Paul Krendler, and how he went from just a few acolytes to a large group of acolytes. This blog was never meant to be seen by me, but there are two other blogs that I know of anyway that are completely devoted to my destruction. They're easy enough to find. See, here's how it works. These websites each have a couple dozen dedicated acolytes who camp out on my websites, this podcast, my blogs, and other places where I've walked through the web using the name my parents gave me. Their job is to nitpick, to find things they can blow up into some great scandal. And then, that scandal becomes part of the official dogma, the approved liturgy of this group of haters. For instance, these acolytes sniff the air, detecting fart molecules that I may have emitted at some point during the day. Then, if they find one person tells another person, 2 tell 4, 4 tell 8, 8 tell 16, and by the end of the day, the story is no longer that Bill Schmalfelt farted. The official story is that I stumbled into a Catholic church and took a wet dump on a statue of the baby Jesus in his manger. And this is accepted as true, without question, because according to the official catechism of these people, I am evil. My evil is proven by their word. Their word is not subject to scrutiny. Therefore, their word is true, and I am evil. Now, imagine the Google bomb that creates when a couple dozen hate-hardened acolytes start spreading their version of the truth across the internet. Even sharing something as personal as a death in the family becomes a reason to hate me. I have always documented and shared my life with my listeners and my readers. It has proven profitable when I was making money at it, because when people think you're real, they're more interested in what you have to say, whether or not they agree or disagree. But this group of acolytes, they don't need to base their stories on the truth. The more outrageous the lie, the better they like it. For instance, when my mother died on March 8th, 2013, I was at her bedside. As we have a huge family scattered across the nation, I kept relatives up to date on her condition via Twitter. When she died, I called the people who needed to be called and tweeted the rest. The acolytes entered that fact, that proven fact, into the approved liturgy, twisting it into, I sat there tweeting away while my mother died. And that blatant falsehood is to be believed. Why? Refer back to the catechism. I am evil, as proven by the doctrine, as supported by the liturgy. Therefore, my evil is not to be questioned. And, of course, that makes it perfectly okay to use images of my mother in your avatars photoshopped in any way you deem fit, to disfigure her, to paint her as a monster, to portray her as something less than the wonderful woman she was. Speaking of wonderful women, my wife died a bit more than a month ago. The truth of the matter is, after a 19-year battle with an autoimmune condition called systemic sclerosis or scleroderma, her kidneys suddenly failed. Her liver stopped functioning properly. She lost a bunch of weight. Her body swelled, and she died. The acolytes took that basic info and blamed me for not forcing her to have dialysis, which would have done her no good, nor would she have had it, even if she had been a candidate for it. Therefore, I abused my wife. I'm a wife abuser who killed his wife by denying her dialysis, and thus it is given the imprimatur of the acolytes, is adopted by the doctrine, and is adapted into the liturgy. I can tell you what really happened, but you dare not believe it. Why not? Well, again, the catechism. I am evil. My evil is proven by the word of the acolytes. Therefore, the doctrine and liturgy are not to be questioned. How does a person fight that? Well, I do have friends, but they find this whole mess so disgusting, they want nothing to do with it. As a result, I don't have the social network or call circle or email chain that the acolytes have. I don't have a ready, rapid response team to counter the lies that are told before they become approved by doctrine and attached to the liturgy. Nor do I see an ability to form such a rapid response team as necessary, or as useful for that matter. It's a liberal thing. We progressives are not subject to hive mind groupthink. Call it silly, but we prefer to ground ourselves in reality, believing things that can be proven true and not believing things that can be proven false. What someone heard that someone said and tells that to dozens of other like-minded people, already predisposed toward hating me, there's just no fighting that. That's why there's never been a successful liberal talk radio format. Progressives, unlike conservatives, do not get their marching orders from the media. We sort through the facts and the issues, and we make up our own mind about the fact or falsity or mixture thereof in a story. Conservatives pride themselves in their lockstep conformity with whatever their cause happens to be. God, gays, guns, and old glory. Don't try to rationalize, their minds are made up. So, since it's basically me, no rapid response truth squad, against all of them with no one really willing to stand with me and take up my cause, the way the acolytes and the lickspittles have adopted the word of the people who are out to destroy me, swallowing each lie as if it were a chocolate-covered raisin, I guess I just don't have a chance. The fight is wearing me down. My wife is dead, a bit more than a month now. I'm empty. I have no joy in my life at the moment, and I am deeply discouraged that this sort of thing has gotten to the point where it is. I'm not leaving the internet forever, just for a while. I'll come back, start podcasting satire, and resume blogging again, but it'll be under an assumed name. See, the fact of the matter is, this is 2015. You're welcome to speak your mind, but here, wear this mask. Your family will be safer that way. I'm Bill Schmolfelt. This has been the Grouch Cast, and I'll be back probably sooner than you think. Keep an ear peeled, why don't you?
The Grouch Cast is a copyrighted performance. Copyright 2015 by Bill Schmolfelt. All rights reserved. Please visit our homepage at www.grouchcast.com. Our email address is grouchcast365@comcast.net. Join us for the live show 5 days a week on Live 365 or on our website, and thank you for listening.
This podcast is a member of the Blueberry Network. Blueberry. No E's. That's Blueberry, BLUBRRY.com. Blueberry.com.